Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second season of Tell Me Dad. In this season, we will be asking my dad all questions that we have about life. These can be questions about career, personal development, or relationships, or whatever we can think of. So if you're interested in what my dad has to share this time, then stay tuned. Hello, Dad.
Hi, son. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm very good. How are you?
Same as usual. Uh, uh, People and mom keeping me busy,
Of course.
and you are keeping me busy
With a
Sunday
podcast.
afternoon.
Yeah.
So, I'm very happy. I'm very happy the way it's going, and I am. Well, to be quite honest, I feel extremely well right now. I mean, from a health point of view and mental point of view, I'm ready for the big things to come.
Very good. Very good. That's what we want to hear.
All right.
That's exactly what we want to hear.
Okay. What did you think of today?
I think
What
it's a very
question?
interesting question, as
Oh,
always. Um, Still, again, it's about behavior, I guess. And I think it's only a question that someone with a lot of life experience can answer.
oh,
And so the question I have for you today is, how do you forgive someone who really hurt you?
oops,
Tough one, right?
oops. Well, well. Wow. That is very difficult because I went through a lot of situations where I've been hurt and I felt really bad about this and afterwards. And well, it depends on the intention that your opposite has. You
Yeah.
know, um, and it depends on whether you have people given a chance to change their behavior, and this chance has been used actually against you afterwards. So this is the worst case.
Hmm.
I mean, you know that I've been divorced a long time ago, and the last couple of years, I mean, in that marriage, I've been hurt a few times, very, very badly. I mean, emotionally, and even though I have always tried to kind of find a new common base again, it was just not possible because, from a character point of view, we had been separated so much. Uh, there was such a gap at the end, and I felt really bad about that situation. And you see, the point is, to hurt someone does not necessarily mean that you take a baseball bat and
Absolutely. Yeah.
you beat him up. To hurt. I mean, words are much more powerful than weapons.
Yeah.
With words, wars have been started, and so when I was divorced, or since the day I was divorced, I have not talked to my ex-wife again, except one occasion,
Yeah.
and that was when I heard in the radio in Düren that they were looking for someone. They were looking for someone to donate bone marrow because um, a young man, his name was Andreas, and he had blood cancer,
Yeah.
and they uh, desperately needed someone for this donation. And they said at the radio his age is 22 years old, same age as you have today.
Yeah.
And he was from Düren. And when I heard that, I was on the way back home here.
Yeah.
I I was kind of shocked, I was kind of shocked, and because all the data they had mentioned in the radio, it was a perfect match to my first son, my
Yeah.
son from my first marriage.
Yeah.
Andreas, 22 years old, living in Düren. And so I got back home here and I talked to your mom. I said, well, what the hell am I going to do? I mean, it's my son. And in many cases, um, a mother or dad, there might be the perfect donator.
Yeah.
So um, she said, you know what you do? You go in your office and you call your ex-wife. There is just no other solution for that. You go in there, and she pushed me into my office here, locked the door,
Yeah.
and she said from the outside, you get out here when you have talked to your ex-wife.
Wow.
And so I grabbed the phone and I dialed the number of my ex-wife. And after about 10 minutes, I knew that this was a good decision to call, because I learned that it was not my son.
Yeah.
And the words that she had used in that teleconversation,
Yeah.
they proved that I made the right decision when I got divorced from her. So
Yeah.
anyway, but the last few months I was together with her, they were so painful, and she used a lot of very bad words and uh, comparisons. I mean, it was just terrible, and that on an everyday basis.
Yeah.
So I was definitely hurt very much, and I went through that during my marriage a few times, but not that bad.
Yeah.
And the highlight was when she grabbed a key from the wall and she said, "So, if we don't find a common base now, then I get in the car, and I drive the car against a tree." And I looked at the key; it was actually my car key, and I
Yeah.
said, "Well, let me have that car key and take yours, because I need my car tomorrow. And if you want to drive a car against a tree, then please use your key and your car." And that was it. And this moment, I made the decision for the divorce
Yeah.
and to definitely separate from that person.
Yeah.
So I was hurt very much. And after the divorce, I mean, from that day, contact between her, well, I moved out the next day,
Yeah.
and contact between her and me was only via our lawyers.
Hmm.
And the day we got divorced, from that day, I haven't had a word with her, I mean, since, except this one
This one
occasion.
case.
But yeah, and I never will
Yeah.
have, and I never have the feeling that I have to have
Yeah.
a word with her, because this person doesn't mean anything to me anymore.
Yeah.
I just doesn't even want to talk to that person anymore. Even if she would uh, come here and she would cry and say, "Well, please forgive me, and I would never do that again, and I made a big mistake." And no, no, because I know it would be a lie, and I don't trust this person and never forgive. I mean, on the other hand, um, what I don't like is when people hurt you by starting an intrigue
Hmm.
against you.
Yeah.
This is also something that is very hard to forgive,
Hmm.
because if people do that once and they are successful with one person, that they do it again.
Yeah.
Definitely, they do it again. And you just cannot trust these people. And even if they say, "Oh, hey, sorry about that. I really didn't mean to do that," and no, just, I mean, cut the line and send these people to hell. It is not worth it to spend time even thinking about these people. Try to offend yourself, to tell these people that they know with whom they are starting a fight now, but don't waste your time trying to find a new common basis again, because it's just too risky, risky. On the other hand, when you are uh, talking to people and they use some words, there is a misunderstanding, and they say, "Well, I mean, you're a real asshole,"
Yeah,
and well, this happens. This
sure.
happens, and when they come back the next day and they say, "Well, really, last night, I had a few beers and just forget what I said. I mean, you know me, and I didn't mean that. I really
Yeah,
didn't mean that." Um, then uh, that's it. You agree and you say, "Come on, let's forget about it." Um, but you see, it always depends on the kind of harm they do to you.
yeah,
Um, I mean, what person they are, what kind of relationship you have. Um, in most cases, the closer they are to you, the more it hurts.
yeah,
And but still, you also have to uh, make a difference between whether it is a person that you know from your business or from your job, or whether it is a person that comes from your private society. This is, I mean, private. You have to be also very careful, because uh, there are people that really start to play with you. And I mean, in this podcast, I don't want to mention any names, but
yeah,
we have people here very close to us. There sometimes it's really not we just don't understand why people behave like this. But I mean, on the other hand, if you think about it, and if you educate yourself a little bit and try to analyze what kind of person your opposite it is, it helps you to kind of live with that situation.
yeah,
And when you find out that there is a toxic person, um, and you also find out that there are person that tend to direction of Nazism, um, you kind of, or you have to look at the situation from a totally different angle, because these people, they are sick. They just
yeah,
do it for fun, or for because they have to do it, or they always want to be right, and they always have to prove to you that they are in a better position than you are. And um, also the role that people like this like to use is the role to be the victim.
yeah,
They just feel like, "Oh no, what have I done to you in the past, all the good things," and so
yeah,
on. It's
yeah,
all bullshit. And when you know how to judge, to evaluate these statements, it makes it much easier to live with it.
yeah,
And now the other area is the business area. The business area is very difficult, because um, sometimes people that are not really honest, and um, they kind of play games with you or against you, and you still know, well, to some extent, I need these guys or
Yeah.
that particular person to make this next step ahead. So this is a very difficult situation, um, and you really have to be kind of trained to handle situations like this, because if you take situations like this too emotionally, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You have to, you have to. I mean, the best way to handle situations like this in business life, when people play games or people tend to insult you to some extent, is to evaluate the situation. And my advice would be, and that's what I did in the past, get good advice from a coach or from a coach, a person that is educated in psychology, business management, and I mean these people, they are very valuable,
Yeah.
and they have talked on and trained so many other people that they in most cases can give you a very good advice. And one advice could be, just stay put, don't do anything, let the other guy make the mistake. This could be one advice. Or uh, one advice could be, well, don't concentrate so much on that person as a person. um, Look what mistakes he might have made in the past or is still making, and then just make clear that the person understands, if he tries to play games with you, it could become a boomerang.
Yeah.
But you have to be prepared.
Yeah.
Uh, in most cases, people that attack you, they don't use all their uh, ammunition once. They always have something in their back for second attacks. So, I mean, but still, you have to make clear that if you go on like this, if you do that again, I gonna switch from listening to attack.
Yeah.
And then you have to, but even then you have to attack in quotation marks in a proper way. I mean, just to yell at him and scream him down is not really a very
Yeah.
professional answer. You have to make him clear that if he goes on, that it could be very harmful for him.
Yeah.
And in many cases, these people, um, they step back and they stop these games. But I have made I have made I have made experiences in my life. I still remember I was a as a young sales engineer. I was promoted to become the sales director of this company, and there was another colleague of mine. He was a few years older, and he was, from an educational point of view, he was way ahead of me. He had a master degree in business administration and a master degree in engineering. So, I mean, from a qualification point of view, on paper,
Yeah.
uh, he was just, I mean, the better solution. He was the regional sales manager for um, uh, um, the Far East, for Korea, Japan, Indonesia, all
Yeah.
these countries. and he was successful. I mean, it's a difficult, very difficult sales area. He was successful, but if you work too many years in this area, you kind of change. You kind of pick up the mentality of these people, and you lose your focus on other cultures. So, from that point of view, to become the sales director for a team that covers the whole world, he was not really the top pick, and for some reason, our um, board member that was responsible for sales and marketing, he decided to promote me to get that position, because I have been working at that time, I had been working in South America, in the United States. I was covering the Russian market. I did a lot of successful work in Scandinavia. And I mean, I was the all rounder, and I was a very diplomatic person. And when you get a position as a leader in a big company, of course, you have to be strong and you have to make your point clear, but you also have to be a person that can listen, that can make creative suggestions, that can help the team to close a deal, for instance. So, and at that time, I was pretty good at that. And the other guy, we didn't really have a big, uh, or we didn't really work together a lot, because he was in the Far East and I was working in the rest of the world. So, but from that day on, he became my favorite enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was amazing how emotional he became. So he after work, when the big office was empty. I mean, I had a smaller office, and well, it was not really a separate office. It was in a big office with these cubicles.
Yeah.
I had well, three times that size cubicle
Yeah.
as my office. So always after work, he came into my office and he started with provocation
Yeah.
in some way uh, that I didn't like. He was just waiting for Willie to explode and to punch his nose or
Yeah.
kick his knee or whatever.
Yeah.
So he was waiting for me to make the mistake. And I went through that process like 2, 3 times, and then I said, "Well, do you mind if we have a word between professional people? Because it can't go on like this. That you get in here every night and play these games. I mean, you don't get anywhere with that.
Yeah.
Please keep in mind that from now on, I gonna be your boss, and it can't be right to treat your boss or to treat your boss that way. And I'm from now on, I'm not willing to take that any longer. Either you concentrate on your work, on your job, and be successful, or you and we're gonna have a discussion with the board.
Yeah.
And I'm serious about that. So, and from that day on, it was taken care of. He
Yeah.
backed up. He was concentrating on his work, and in fact, for the next couple of weeks, he actually started to become friendly and kind of nice. And in one meeting that we had with the director of the board that was responsible for sales and marketing, he kind of attacked him.
Okay.
He said, well, uh, I have to tell you one thing. I was actually counting on that position that you gave to Willy Sarik, and I was very unhappy with your decision, and I'm still very unhappy with your decision. And 1 week later, that guy was history.
Yeah.
He was history because that board member, he was not willing to take that emotional crap. And you see, these emotions are very destructive.
Yeah.
They don't really help you to be successful.
Yeah.
You just, I mean, in the back of your head, you just thinking about how can I kind of um, create a situation that really jumps out the window, and I get his position.
Yeah.
So um, you don't need people like that. You
Yeah.
have to get rid of them. And so um, again, to summarize that, the first is how to handle situations. You have to divide: is it private, or is it business wise? Business
Sure.
wise, there are rules, and you have to play that according to the facts. This is very important. And there is always professional help that can back up you as a person, and that can be a lawyer, that can be a board member, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, before it goes that far, of course, there are discussions,
Sure.
and let's have a beer together and let's discuss about this whole thing. So the other part is the private issues, because people in lives, in private life, in many cases, they don't they don't know the limit. They don't know where to stop,
Yeah.
and they start to be mean, and they kind of go on until it really gets to a situation where you are really harmed, and even psychologically get any damage.
Yeah.
And uh, this is bad. This is bad. And my advice is, analyze the person. Is it a person that has behaved like this in the past, also to other people? Is it a person that has any value to you?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people behave crazy because you are not the problem. They have another problem, but they need a kind of a valve to let out the pressure.
Yeah.
And so this is very important. You have to analyze the situation, the person, and depending on how much that person means to you, and um, how big the chance is that you see to get back to a common understanding again, you plan your action. But again, as I told you before, there are situations where you just want to see a person again in your life. You don't want to talk to this person. This person doesn't mean anything to you
Yeah.
anymore, because they have done so much harm to you that and then it doesn't really matter what the reason is. It's you have to get these people out of your life. And there are some other people that you can't get out of your life.
Yeah.
You can't just divorce. You have
Sure.
to kind of live with people that are part of your extended family.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, you have to find a way to to um, to live with it. But a good advice is always, when you have toxic person like that, try to keep a healthy distance.
Yeah.
This is very important. Don't don't react on any little attack that they start. Um, don't even react at all. This is also very important. They are waiting just for you to say something, to do something, and they are prepared.
Yeah.
You know, so just ignore these people, or like a friend of mine always told me, don't even ignore them.
Yeah.
So they don't mean that much to you anymore, but you have to find a way, pragmatic way, to live with them. I mean, side by side.
Yeah.
You don't have to give them a hug every day.
Yeah.
I mean, just side by side, make them understand that um, they don't mean anything to you. They have to look for other victims. So um, this is what I could give you as an advice on a for private situation. And again, um, another thing is, sometimes don't put too much value on things that people say. You have
Yeah.
to train yourself in understanding what really people mean by what they say. Sometimes they give you so much bullshit. If you
Yeah.
put high value on that, I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna be damaged for the rest of your life.
True.
So sometimes people, they overdo it. But if these people are from a character point of view, if they have a value to you,
Yeah.
and if you know that, well, from their heart, they are not that bad, they are good people, then give them a chance.
Yeah.
Give them a chance, and the next day, just approach them nicely as you are and say,
Yeah.
well, yesterday, did you forget to take your pills?
Yeah.
I mean, just make a funny comment, and they kind of realize that they overdid it. And so, I mean, the question that you ask is not a yes or no question.
Of course. Yeah.
And every person is different.
Sure.
Um, sometimes uh, people say something and you feel really hurt, and some other people say the same thing, and you you don't even give a damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
um, always analyze who said it. Does the person mean something to you? And is it someone that really is looking for um, fighting with you, or is it someone that has a different emotional problem and just want to open that valve, to get rid of the pressure?
Yeah. One more question I have regarding that is, for example, in case of your ex-wife, of course you didn't want to see her again afterwards from what you
Yeah.
describe her. How did you find closure and peace for yourself? Because in that case, forgiveness, of course, is not speaking to that person again or having that person in your
Well,
life.
well,
But how do you come to an end of that situation with yourself?
yeah. Well, first of all, I must tell you, when I left the house,
Yeah.
the next day I went to my lawyer and I said, well, um, I want the divorce
Yeah.
because there is no other chance for her and for me to live in the same house. I am willing to give her the house, to give her a big chunk of money, and she can also keep that brand new BMW.
Yeah.
So also all her jewelry and all that, she can keep all that. So that's the deal. But I don't want to pay any support money for her.
Yeah.
For my son, yes, at that time, Andreas was 16 years old.
Yeah.
I said, for him, yes, of course, no question about it. For her, not a single dime. So
Yeah.
that's my offer. And just approach the opposite with that offer. And he said, no, you can't do that. You're going to lose an arm and a leg and all your
Yeah.
house and your money. I said, no, it's worth it. It's worth it. I just don't want to draw a line here. And she should look for a new life that does not include Willie. And okay, my lawyer approached the opposite side. They accepted that offer. And so, but that night or that morning, when I left the house at 6 o'clock in the morning, I left the house with 2 suitcases with my clothes. That's all I took. That's it. Some paperwork and some clothes. I left the house and I went to the house of my mom. There was an apartment empty that I could have. And that night was the first night I had more than 8 hours of sleep.
Wow.
Before, for years, I did not have that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a well, a good experience. It was the experience of I feel free now. You
Yeah.
know, no pressure, no fear of you get home tonight and the whole stuff starts again. And so um, from that day on, I started to create my new life in quotation marks. I created my new life, and just concentrating on that helped me to find my freedom. You know, to kind of feel like, um, well, there is no one in my life anymore that puts me under pressure every day.
Yeah.
So, and just that fact helped me a lot to start a new life and to know that I didn't leave someone behind that is really in an extremely bad position now. No money, no car, no house, no. Just to know that she was in a much better position than I was.
Yeah.
You know, and just to know that, even though my lawyer called me crazy,
Yeah.
but just to know that was enough to give me strength and energy to build up a new life.
Yeah.
And the only day I saw her after that was at the day when we got divorced. That was
Yeah.
about a year later, and that was it. And
Yeah.
from that day on, I felt free. She was remarried pretty quick, like
Yeah.
after the divorce. It took like 6 months, and she
Okay.
was remarried. She found
Yeah.
a new managing director of a
Yeah.
company
Of course.
that could really spoil her, and apparently it was the better person for her. I mean, this
Maybe.
is also something that you have to accept.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you are not the perfect person for this lady.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just the mentality, the way you talk, the way um, it just doesn't match. Maybe he was the better man for her.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what I heard after that was just that she was doing extremely well. She moved into an even bigger house.
Yeah.
She sold the house that we lived in immediately.
Yeah.
So she got another big chunk of money. She 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 did very well,
Yeah.
and I started from scratch. But I'm the person, I tell you, you can, when I have nothing at all, you give me $50.
Yeah.
And in 1 week, I turn these $50 into $500.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something, or I should say euros for the
Yeah.
people that are listening in Europe.
Yeah.
This is kind of a question of what kind of mentality you have. If you are a fighter, if you look for success, if you want to be a winner, if you can create that energy to bring you to that goal that you have set, this is a totally different thing. Well, I still remember when I talked to her about the visions that I had,
Yeah.
creating my own company and what I, I couldn't even start the second sentence. And she kind of demolished already that whole
Okay.
idea. It was that.
Yeah.
And the more I try to, come on, sit down, listen. I mean, I just want to explain that to you once again. It was like, do you think I'm too stupid to understand? No. And if I say no, it's no.
Yeah.
So I was just fed up with that. I just didn't want to go through that anymore. And so maybe her new husband, uh, she got married kind of quick, maybe her new husband had a better way to handle her. Maybe she learned from the past. You never
Maybe.
know. You see, some people, they kind of wake up.
Yeah.
They kind of wake up and they say, "Well, I goofed up once, but I don't want to do that again." So, well, I mean, for me it was too late, but
Yeah.
for her life, maybe that was the key for success.
Yeah.
You never know. So she was doing well. She still is doing well, as far as I learned from Andreas.
Yeah.
Um, and that's it. So that harm, there was just no way to kind of erase that.
Yeah.
It's just because it was an ongoing story, and the only way to get out of that was to cut the line.
Yeah.
And I'm still very happy about that. I'm
Yeah. I
very
can
happy.
imagine.
I'm very happy that I started my own company after all.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that I met your mom
Yeah.
after all.
Yeah.
Even though my first idea was never,
Never.
ever a relationship again.
Yeah.
Never, ever. But 2 years later, I had to correct myself when I met your mom
Yeah.
because she is a totally different person. And then when you joined us, um, it was the perfect life.
Yeah.
I started my company, which was very successful. I built a house. I had a beautiful wife. My son was just perfect,
Yeah.
and and I was a very very, and I'm still are a
Yeah.
very happy man. So I made the right decision. Sometimes it is the best decision to cut the line, but it depends on you, of your capabilities to evaluate the situation. Um, it is it is not good if you cut the line too early and later on you kind of regret that you
Yeah.
are losing maybe a very valuable person.
Yeah.
You know that could have influenced your life in a very positive way. So um, again, it's you have to educate yourself. But if someone puts harm to you on a constant basis, give him a chance. We always have to give people a chance. But he goes on, and it's permanent harm, and it's really mean. Privately cut the line on a business, focus. I would say really evaluate the situation. What's that person worth to you, and what does he means for your career?
Yeah.
Um, let him make your own his own mistakes. This is also very very valuable advice, because sometimes these people are very dynamic and they do things that they better shouldn't do. So let them make their own mistakes, and in many cases, at the end of the day, they kind of erase themselves from your life.
Yeah.
But if not, be prepared to fight,
Yeah.
but in a very professional and I mean, it's got to be in a professional way. You have to educate yourself how to handle these situations.
Yeah.
But you will, I know that. I
No,
mean,
I
for
will.
you,
Yeah.
I don't see any risk,
I mean, I
because
haven't been in that situation yet. So, luckily.
no,
Luckily.
but before you talk, you think, and
Definitely.
that is something that with some people, this is not really the case. They kind of
Yeah.
give you all that bullshit that they have in their head, and you wonder, how can someone have so much bullshit in his head?
Yeah.
So, um, uh, I mean, people are always valuable as long as they um, are a valuable part of your life. The moment when they turn out to be um, harmful for you in your life,
Yeah.
you have to find a solution. Either you can turn them around if they are worth it, if they, from a character point of view, are valuable enough that the energy that you put into these people is really worth it. If not, uh, just let them know that the game is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go on like this, just be aware that from now on we are shooting back.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So, I mean, that was uh, well, not a difficult question, but it was a question that I was not counting on.
Yeah.
Um, the big advantage that I see when you ask these questions is that the answers that you get are, are very honest,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
definitely.
and authentic.
Yeah.
The answers that you get um, are not really something that I have written down last night,
Yeah.
that I have sent for proofreading to a good friend of mine who
Yeah.
is a psychiatrist,
Yeah.
or have checked with ChatGPT.
Exactly.
This is also very
That's
common
why I
these
don't give
days.
you time to prepare.
But the answers you get are very honest.
Definitely. Definitely.
All
And I
right, my
appreciate it.
son. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I would say today is Sunday. Get into town, have a beer, listen to some good Irish music.
Yeah.
No, you did that last week, right?
Yeah, I did.
You went to. I saw that video that you made. It's great, a great pub. Good
Yeah.
music and
Yeah, they specialize on
handmade
whiskey.
music.
Yeah,
No,
they specialize on
is
whiskey.
is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and usually I thought that I mean I'm young. I thought that I didn't have the palate yet for whiskey, because every whiskey I had so far it burned. It was harsh. But last week I had a whiskey. It's called Connemara, um,
Hmm.
and it's very smoky. It's an Irish whiskey. It's very smoky.
Mm-hmm.
That was delicious. That was a great whiskey.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But it was probably aged for a certain amount of years.
Actually, this one, I'm not sure how old the standard version is. I don't think it's that old actually. They also have one which is I think 12 years old.
Yeah.
But that one, I think a bottle is 500 euros or so, so it's very
Yeah, of
expensive.
course, of course. The
uh,
older they are, the
so
more expensive they are.
I had the normal version, but
Yeah.
it was delicious, easy to
Yeah.
drink. Very
Normally
nice.
they are like 5, 6 years, and then
Yeah,
they are ready for
yeah,
sale. But
Yeah.
they are good. You see the difference between 6 years and 12 years. There is a difference.
Sure.
When you have two glasses right next to each other and you really concentrate, then
Yeah.
you find the difference.
Yeah.
But for us normal people, the 6-year-old is also good enough. I like very much malt whiskey.
Yeah.
And also there, if you take a 6-year-old Glenfiddich and compare that to a 12-year-old or 18-year-old, of course there is a difference, but the difference is not so big that you say, "Wow, I just forget about that 6-year-old." You see, the point is the basic character of the whiskey is the same,
Yeah.
and for us normal people, the 6-year-old will do
It will
because
do.
this is
Yeah.
something that we can afford.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Okay, my son. So now we covered also the whiskey.
There we go.
I would say take care, all
You
the
as well.
best, and I'm looking forward to our next session, And
So do
give
I.
me a question that I can prepare myself.
Yeah, always spontaneous. You know how it goes.
All right. Okay. Take care, all the best.
Talk to you next week. Bye bye.
Talk to you next week. Bye bye.
Thank you everyone for listening to this episode. If you're interested in what my dad has to share next time, then make sure to tune in again next week. And if you have any questions that you want my dad to answer, then please feel free to send them to us. Hope to see you next week. Bye bye.